So the New Heritage Doll Company in 2009 started with a company APV of 335.55. Our goal is to invest to grow our company. So these are our investment options. We have a budget of 4.13. So we're going to want to invest in ones who have a high IRR number, as low as we can with project costs, and a quick payback period. So these three have the quickest payback periods. They all have high internal rate of returns. So we're going to submit those decisions. And already our APV has increased to 347. So we're going to go to more investment options. So immediately I'm going to look at the IRR percentages. 41 is the highest, so I'm going to look, and the cost is low, the lifetime cost is low, and the payback period, I like to keep them lower than 10, so I'm going to choose that one. The second highest is going to be Match My Doll clothing line at 22.24%. The payback period is 0.21 years, so that's a long time, but it is still less than 10. An increase from this year to the 5-year is good, so I'm going to choose that one as well. There's two 21s, so we're going to look, they're both, or this one's less than 10. The increase for Dolls of the World initiative is greater, so I'm going to go with that one. And then I want to use as much of my budget as possible, so I'm going to, this new East Coast distribution facility has high lifetime costs, so I'm going to try to avoid that one. This warehouse facility has a good increase from the first year to the 5th year, so I'm going to choose that one. And then I still have, I want to use as much of my budget as possible. So if I can, which I have the money, I don't have any more money to invest anymore, so I'm just going to submit those decisions. And I'll go and pick more. So the doll video game has a very high internal rate of return, so I'm going to choose that one. Immediately, this one has a 36.33 at the end, so that's higher than all of the rest of them, even though the cost is very high. I might not be able to afford that one. Let's see. It doesn't have the best internal rate of return, but this balances it out. So I'm going to look for another high internal rate of return. That's 38. The increase isn't very much, but the payback period is pretty short. So we are going to choose that one. I have a lot of my budget remaining, so I'm going to use as much of it as possible. This one's Match My Doll clothing line is very good. I'm going to go with the ones who have the highest internal rate of return and use as much of my budget as possible. And then I will submit my decisions. You can see I'm already up to an APV of 517. I'm going to invest some more. This virtual doll community has 402, so that one immediately caught my eye. And then the 102 Childers Music CD series is a great one. 51% the Bookstore Cafe and Writers Club. I still have 12.87 left in my budget, so I'm going to use all of that if I can. There's a 40.76. That's a good internal rate of return. The 23 and the 20. I have enough budget to invest in all of these, so I'm going to It's a high risk, but as you can see, the APV increased to 674. So it's paying off. The Young Authors book series has a 97%, so I'm going to choose that one. This doll houses with miniature dolls is a good investment as well. And then if I can, I'm going to, there's not enough funds for that one, so that's okay. That's the lowest anyway, so it's not that big of a deal to leave it. And I'm going to end with a company APV of 744.88. So that's a great ending APV. As you can see by this screen, my revenue comes mostly from my retail, which is to be expected. The operations, most of it is licensing, and most of my assets are in my production, so my facilities that I have. As you can see, my actual is greater than my forecasted, so that is also really well, going really well for me. So to look at the details, you can see that my project discount rate is 7.85%. My risk is very high, which I did take a high risk, but it did pay off in the end. My payback period is 9.21 years. Internal rate of return, 22.24%. And to go down here and look at the cash flow statement, my depreciation, as my income increases, my depreciation also increases with it. So that is to be expected. We want it to increase as well. So the project updates, as you can see, I invested in a lot of projects. I started out with 3 in 2009, 4 in 2010, quite a few in 2011. I had a high budget for those, 2011, 2012, so I invested as much as I could, and my payback went well, so I'm increasing my company. And then in 2013, there were fewer investment options, so I went with 3 out of the 4 options that I had. So that's helping me out quite a bit. So back to my dashboard. The project updates, doll houses with miniature dolls. It was launched successfully, but with somewhat lower margins than to be expected. So at least it was successful, even though the margins were not as high. The coupons and promotions, that's great. It keeps our customers coming back and increasing our sales. And the Young Authors book series, Best of Girls books were an immediate success with the targeted demographic, so that is great as well. We are making our customers happy. So it looks like our company will continue to grow and expand. So thank you.